All right, 3, 2, 1. 1 is the loneliest number. All right, tough one. I don't know why did I just take a screen cap? I'm just not. This is the one thing that drives me crazy about these phones. You touch two buttons at the same time, and you take a screen cap of your wallpaper on the background of your phone. Like, it shouldn't be that. I've taken so many pocket shots, it's not even funny. All right, tough one. That's a tough one. Not gonna lie about it. That's one of those games that it's a resume builder. I think Oklahoma State. I don't know how they're gonna do the rest of the year, but they've got Cade Cunningham back, and it's pretty clear that he is a phenomenal player. I don't think that anybody can deny that. We can't deny it. Got to give respect where respect is due. Got to give respect where respect is due. Cade Cunningham's a hell of a player. Moses Moody, also a hell of a player. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but they were roommates. This wasn't as bad. At least Cade Cunningham was in the game. At least we didn't have to hear about Sharif Cooper and the 1-3-1 defense that Auburn, that was just so I was so over that. I was glad not to hear that, but then again, this was on ESPN, The Deuce. I have a feeling if it were on the SEC network, that's all we would have heard today. Yeah, it's a tough one to swallow. We'll go down the numbers first. I want to do that before we unpack the game. Starting with Oklahoma State, I think kind of the unsung hero. They had a couple of unsung heroes, but I think Moncrief was really pretty good for them. 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. He had a block. He did turn the ball over a lot, but 11 points. Boone was also another guy that came up big time. That guy had a double-double, 12 points. 16 points, 12 rebounds. He also had a steal. He had 2 blocks. I thought he was – I don't know. I kind of thought he was their player of the game, if you want my honest opinion. I know Cunningham, with what he did, especially in the final 5 minutes where he just kind of woke up in the final 5, and not that he was doing poorly before then, but he kind of took over for Oklahoma State a little bit there. So going down their numbers, it's really hard to beat a team that's shooting 51% from the floor. Really hard to do, and that's why this thing was back and forth. It was a little sloppy. Arkansas shot not much worse. Again, and what's crazy is they only rotated about 8 players. It kind of felt like they had the same 5 guys on the floor for the majority of the game, Cunningham being one of them, even though he came off the bench. So they shot 51%, 31 of 61. It's 50.8 according to ESPN, but 31 of 61, 7 of 20 from three-point land. They shot 35%. 35%. They knocked down 7 threes. That's good. You're going to take that. I'll say it every week, every post game. When you're shooting 17, 18, 19, 20, when you're taking that many attempts out beyond the arc, out in the perimeter, you need to be north of about 31, 32%. And they were at 35. They were also 12 of 15. 12 of 15 from the line, shooting at just about 77%. A lot of production with just 3 guys off their bench. 28 points. 28 points. Most of that coming from Cade Cunningham. Walker got the other 7. They turned the ball over so much. 19 turnovers, but Arkansas didn't do themselves any favors as they turned the ball over 15 times. They couldn't, and I knew this when Oklahoma State. What was the largest lead I think of the game for them? Wasn't it like 7 or 8 points or something? They couldn't build a lead. They couldn't build on top of their lead, and then Arkansas managed to keep themselves in it despite getting off to kind of a slow first half. And then they couldn't build on leads, and then the final 5 minutes, the final 6 or 7 possessions. It's how Oklahoma State won this game. I think if you take Cade Cunningham out of this ball game, they don't win this game. Obviously, they don't win without Cade Cunningham. It just goes to show you. I mean, their star player comes back in time for Arkansas, right? Rinse, repeat. That feels like that's just hog talk is what that is. That's just that encompasses everything when you say that. That's not just Arkansas screwing up. It's like just the bad luck thing happens, right? It's kind of like seemed like 70% of the shots that were going off the rim were right. They went right back. The rebound went right straight to an Oklahoma State defender. The ball just went right to where he was at. It was like they had all kinds of luck. They had a lot of things going their way in the first half. Arkansas, was there some home cooking officiating? I know people are going to bitch and moan about officiating. Yeah, there was some of that, but again, you expect that. Home team typically almost always gets home cooking. I actually saw them call an over-the-back foul in the first half. I forgot who that was on, but I can't believe they called that. You don't ever hear them call that, and there were several times they should have called it, but they called it at least once. I'll give them that. It was on Oklahoma State. So Arkansas, remember I said they shot pretty well from the floor, 48.6% from the floor. You're going to take that, 34 of 70. An area that again I'm not stoked about what they did out on the perimeter, but 5 of 15. I thought this going into the game, you're probably going to need to be in the 8 to 10 area. You're going to need to be in the 8 to 10 3-point shots made area if you wanted to beat Oklahoma State. Like if you wanted to talk about the building blocks of beating these guys, I also thought Devo, while I said it on the Hog Talk and I said it in the in the Discord chat, you needed Devo to stand out, but you also needed everybody. You needed everybody, but Devo is the glue on offense. He played a little sloppy in the first half. He only had one turnover, which is surprising, but he looked a little, I don't know, he looked discombobulated when he tried to drive the basket. And again, tried to drive the lane rather. You got to give Oklahoma State a lot of credit. They played really well down low. I think in the first half alone they had something like 6 blocks or 5 blocks in the first half. They ended up with 7 total blocks to Arkansas's 5. So, okay, 48% there. You were 33% from 3-point range. Free throw line, you only took 7 shots there. That is a little surprising. I'm not going to lie. They should have been at the free throw line more. I agree. They should have. I've never – Cade Cunningham and Ty Richardson pointed this out on Twitter. That guy got away with murder in the first half. Reaching in, slap, all kinds of contact, foul, nothing, no call. Cade got away with murder. Should have been at least not foul trouble, but should have had more fouls than what he was called with. He was called with 1 foul, and it didn't even come until like 11 minutes or 10 minutes to go in the second half. He should have easily had at least a couple more fouls on his stat sheet. But, again, you kind of expect that. Arkansas got away with a little bit too. I thought Moody a couple times should have been called for at least some contact foul that he made on the defensive end. Overall, officiating, again, not your problem here. And I feel like I've said that a lot this year, actually. I don't think officiating, home cooking's going to happen, right? They're going to get away with a little extra more. So Arkansas's leading scorer, Believe it or not, Justin Smith, 18 points. Justin Smith played a pretty damn good game. Came really close to having a double-double. 7 rebounds. He crashed the boards, man. 4 offensive rebounds. That's more than the other 4 starters combined, including Connor. Connor ended up Connor, honestly, I thought, once again, back-to-back foul, back-to-back, at least a minimum of 4 blocks. He had 5 blocks and 9 points. So, again, not a bad game. I'll talk about the ending here in just a second. Again, Justin Smith, your leading scorer. Moses Moody with 17. Moody overall, I mean, he has these streaks. Well, in Arkansas on offense this year has had these long minutes, 2, 3, 4 minutes where they don't score. But Moody sometimes kind of disappears for a little bit. Even when he's on the floor, he just disappears for way too long. I felt like this was going to be a game if nobody else was going to get it going. And again, it's not like, you got 12 from Devo, you got 13 from Note. Yeah, Note, once again, shot selection terrible. Surprisingly, he only had 2 turnovers. I kind of thought he had more when I looked at the stat sheet, but they're saying 2. I thought he had about 4. But Moody, it seemed like, needed to be the guy to take over in the final 5 or 6 minutes. Didn't get enough out of him. Didn't get enough from really anybody in those final 4 or 5 minutes. You got to have someone you can rely on that's going to keep you in the game. Not that he didn't. Moody did have some key goals, field goals there towards the end. But it wasn't like a takeover. because whoever the other four are, they're going to struggle. They're going to try and pass the ball around underneath. They're going to turn the ball over. They're going to make mistakes. We've seen this time and time again. It's hard for them to win these kind of games. It's hard for them to win these kind of games against opponents like Oklahoma State. Not that they're elite. Oklahoma State's not an elite program. Again, you take Cade Cunningham out, they lose this one, no doubt about that. But it's tough to win these games, and I got to give Arkansas a lot of credit. Moody, all these guys that played their asses off. I thought Seals kind of disappeared for a while. He only had 5 points. Again, Seals is another guy needs to take the game over. Never really gotten into any kind of rhythm. I overall thought Connor Vanover against a quality opponent, this is probably the best performance he's had. Now, the final shot selection going to Connor, and then I'm going to read your comments. I understand why you have him take that shot there in the final seconds. I understand that he's 7'3". If you give him even just a little bit of space, he's shown that he can make contested threes. We know he can shoot out there, but is he the guy you want taking that shot in the final seconds? No, not at least I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll make a last-second shot to win a game at some point in the year. In that situation, I just didn't feel like it should have gone to him. I don't know, maybe Note, because Note was he wasn't great out there. He's 2 of 6. But Note's a little bit quicker. He can get open. He's shown that he can make contested shots, but then the problem there is his shot selection is iffy. So maybe you don't go to Note. Maybe you try Seals. Seals was 1 of 2 out there. He's 50%. Didn't really take enough shots out at three-point range. Moody, who was 1 of 3. Should Moody have been the guy to take that shot? Anybody, in my opinion, between those that I just mentioned outside of Connor. I don't like Connor in that situation taking that shot. And I know someone's going to come through if they haven't already. I'm not looking at my YouTube chat. I'm looking at ESPN stat sheet right now. Again, I will get over there in a second. And I'm sure someone's going to make the case like, here's why he should have been, and it was the right call. He just didn't get the bucket, right? It just didn't go in. And I get that argument. He's 7'3". He has made contested shots, but putting him in that situation, the game on his shoulders. He's also, again, he's 1 of 4 out there. He was 1 of 3 when he took that shot. I don't know that I like him taking that shot or not. I don't. I already said it. I don't like him taking that shot. I would have preferred Moody. I would have preferred Seals. Hell, I would have preferred J.D. Note. Anybody else take that shot. Hell, Vance Jackson, who played, but all he did was get into foul trouble. The guy didn't put any stats on the or didn't get any numbers on his stat sheet. I would almost prefer him take that shot than Connor Vanover. I don't know that Connor's got the ice flowing through his veins or not. So, 15 turnovers. You really need to cut that in half to win this game. You need to be a little bit more active out at three-point range to get this thing to win this kind of game. And, Oklahoma State, pretty good at home. They're going to go to 10-4, 4-3 at home. Arkansas is going to fall to 13 and that's not right. That's a wrong number there. That's their 5th loss, is it not? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's their 5th loss. ESPN said 13-4. There we go. 13-5 on the year, and 2 winnable games, 2 gettable games, as Ruskin and Zach say on their show. 2 gettable games. Mississippi State and A&M are gettable, and at this point, I think really in Kentucky on the road is a gettable game. You have 3 gettable games left. You're 13-5. You're starting that. Do you need to win these games? Absolutely, yes. You need to win all your home games between now and Kentucky, and you need to get that game at Kentucky because after that, you got to go on the road against Mizzou. I don't like your odds against Mizzou. I don't like their odds even against Florida at home. Then you close it out with A&M, Bama, LSU, South Carolina. How many of those games are winnable right now? With A&M, Bama, and LSU, and at South Carolina, right? Florida, again, is at home. A&M's on the road. Alabama at home, who did lose today, by the way, and LSU, is that a gettable game? I don't know. Right now, I would say no. I would say the only of those games, I would say Alabama and LSU are not gettable. So if you can get 1, 2, 3, so Mississippi State, A&M, Kentucky, if you can get those next 3, you set yourself up pretty nicely the rest of the year. and then you get into SEC tournament play and see what happens from there. All right, let me go over to your comments here really quick. Yeah, let's get the likes up. Hey, come on, 8 likes. What are we doing here? Let's go. Let's get the likes. Gleam says Connor in all caps. I don't know what the hype is there. He missed that shot. I don't know what you're hyping up there. Painful, but a close game. We didn't embarrass ourselves too bad. They didn't, and that was the key. Do not embarrass yourselves. I don't think they did. I thought they were good enough to win that game. Bro, I really thought we had one. I feel like every sport the Hogs play, they always disappoint. It's the spirit guns. I'm telling you, man. That's why they call them the heart attack Hogs. It's why they say hog gonna hog, right? Hog's gonna hog. Vanover is the softest big I've ever seen, says Gabriel Bass. Would he be this soft under Mike Anderson? Maybe that's why he didn't come to Arkansas out of high school. I don't know. Maybe. Connor's had some good moments this year. Connor, I mean, you saw what happened today, right? I mean, Arkansas got it going under the rim. They opened and tried to spread Oklahoma State out, and I think they did a pretty decent job of that. I think they did a pretty decent job of spreading Oklahoma State out. And it was, I mean, you saw on the offensive end where they were putting Connor. They were putting him out on the perimeter. They were stretching him out. He served his purpose. I get why he played. I don't agree. I don't know that he should have played as much as he did, and I don't know if he should have taken that. I don't think he should have taken that last shot. Ref swallows the whistle a lot in close games involving the Hogs. Just saying, says Michael Kopeski. I don't think you're wrong. Let me scroll down here. Vanover shooting a 3. That's the best down 2 play we have. Yeah. And I kind of think you probably, with as how good they were playing at the rim, and by the way, the last several games, they have improved so much. They have improved so much at the rim. It's, this has been the thing that I've been just screaming about since non-conference play. They got to get better, and they've gotten better. Why not design something to get you into overtime? Why not draw something up to get something underneath, right, in those final seconds? And instead, Oklahoma State ends up taking the lead and then stretching the lead out a little more. Anyone but Vanover in that situation, come on. Yeah, I agree. LSU did lose. They choked. Alabama lost to Oklahoma. Tony Brown says, Vanover was so weak rebounding. He would grab a rebound just for an OSU player to snatch it right out of his hands. Disappointed. I thought it was 50-50. I don't think it was a purely bad game by him. I just think that, I thought he played hard. I thought he went after some loose balls. He's not fast. If you haven't noticed, he's not very quick under the rim, out in the paint. He's not very quick. If there's a loose ball, he's going to get beat for it. But he showed hustle. I just don't know if he should have logged as much time as he did tonight. I'm curious when that stat sheet updates how many minutes he got. He was 4 of 9 from the floor. He had a couple nice putbacks. I mean, he honestly had the best game of his year. 4 rebounds, 5 blocks. It was his best game of the year, but it's still like he still gets bullied underneath, right? Just no leg power. He has no lower power at all. Just none. I'd get that kid on a squat machine and just leave him there and just tell him to not stop until I come back. Got to build those legs up, man. I don't know. Eat some more fried chicken. I don't know what to tell you. There's plenty of it here in Fayetteville, right? Go eat you some fried chicken, man. Go eat as much fried food as you can. Put on the good weight. I don't know. I don't know what to tell him, but he's got to get stronger below. If you listen to the announcers, Okie State is an elite team, a team for the ages. Oh, I know it. Cade Cunningham. They've got some good pieces around him. I don't know. I guess it's going to depend on their matchups from here on out. Are they capable of making a decent run in the tournament? I think they are. I really do. I don't think they're elite. I truly think the loss of I truly think that loss solidifies that we are NIT bound. At least we might win the championship in the NIT. Our schedule is rough the rest of the way, and I highly doubt we make it through 500. Well, I don't know. Again, I just gave you your schedule here. I don't think it's that rough. Mississippi State, A&M, and at Kentucky. Those are your next 3 games. Those are all 3 gettable. Do you win them all? Probably not. Maybe not. I don't know, but you were riding a 3-game win streak coming into here. You beat Auburn. By the way, what's the score of the Auburn-Baylor game really quick? Let's pull that up. How are they doing? They were fighting pretty hard. Oh, nope, they lost 84-72. Okay. They fought hard, though. I think it was a pretty close game. I think they're down 5 at half. I didn't get a great chance to see the I didn't get a chance to finish that game. I watched bits and pieces of it, trying to flick back and forth. I'm still not over that pop fly. Man, we're not even, like, baseball practice just started. We're not doing that. It's all good. LSU choked big time today. LSU gave it away. It's so good to see him lose. Will Wade lose. Ash reacts as I didn't like Van overtaking that shot. If he made one more pass, we could have won that game. Let's see here. 40 people. Yeah, right. Let's get the likes up. Get the likes. You sound crazy at ×2 NRA. I don't know what you're talking about. Catching up on the live stream on ×2 playback. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. My favorite part of post game. Ty left my ass off. I hate YouTube and its lack of notifications. Yeah, I know it. Notifications still not going out. I hate that. All right, so it is what it is, right? I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough loss, but at the end of the day, it doesn't kill you. And again, Tony Brown's out here acting like we just lost the world. You went on the road and you gave Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State, who is a tournament team, you forced them down into the final minutes of that game, final seconds of the game. You had it in within your grasp to win. I think Oklahoma State with Cade Cunningham is a probably somewhere around a top 25 ranked opponent with Cade Cunningham. Remember, he's missed some time. What's up, Mike? How you doing, buddy? How's it going? You went. There's nothing to hang your head on here. I mean, this is a good game. This was a great game. They were physical. They fought. They never bowed down. In fact, again, I think they should have won this game. I think they had so many opportunities to win, and they just didn't take it, and that's okay. I don't like Connor Van overtaking the final 3 there. Of course not. I don't like him taking that shot. It is what it is. I understand why Musselman drew it up, if assuming that's how he drew it up. I'm assuming it is. It is what it is. You played tough. You play like this the rest of the year. I think you're tournament bound, if I'm being honest. Watch what Auburn does the rest of the year. Watch what Oklahoma State does the rest of the year. Of course, it's not really going to matter because you didn't win the game, but just keep an eye on Oklahoma State here on out. Maybe they suck. Maybe they really are just bad, and Arkansas went on the road and lost to a bad team. I don't think that's the case. I think Oklahoma State's pretty good. You got Mississippi State, A&M on the road against Kentucky. Again, all 3 gettable games. Then you got to go on the road against Mizzou. That's going to be tough. My guess is they'll probably be somewhere in the top 20 by the time we get there on the 13th. And then you play Florida at home. So there's some gettable games left here. We'll see how they finish the year out. It was a hell of a game tonight. I'm going to tip the cap to Oklahoma State and move on for the next one. How Ty, you got to get some quads, though, don't you? I got mad, but I'm over it. Still bleed red like always. It's time for baseball. I don't know what you're talking about. How Ty, you're going to have to be a little more specific. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. How Ty, you got to get some quads, though, don't you? What are you talking about? Quads? Are you talking about working out your quads? I guess we just can't beat teams that have yellow or oranges as their colors. Remember, this is a team that is serving a 1 year. Oh, they're not even going to play in the postseason. What the hell am I talking about? I forgot. They're on postseason ban. Oh, yeah. That's right. They're not even going to play because they're on a 1 year postseason ban, and they're on I think their scholarships are reduced by like 2 for the next couple of years, next 2 or 3 years. So just keep that in mind. That's who you lost to, a team that got busted cheating. So just saying, don't feel too bad about it. You played a team very similar to LSU and Auburn and Tennessee kind of in the more recent years that have bought and paid talent over the years, and that's what you're up against. So just keep that in mind for the tournament. Okay. Yeah, you need some quad. I see what you're saying. You're talking about quad wins. Yeah, you need them, but again, you're not out of it. This game does not eliminate you. It only helped your resume. Ty, I got a question for you. Do you truly think we are still in this for the tournament? I realize we are Razorback fans, well, most of us, but this is a terrible loss for our resume. Overreaction? Yeah, it's an overreaction. Yeah, it is. Mike Lane, he's asking how we get to – yeah, right. No, I got what he was saying. Hit the damn like button. I agree. Thank you. Hit the like button. No, again, this was a resume-building win if you could get it. If you win out, if you like from here on out, I mean, it just depends, right? It depends on what you do in conference play from here on out. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games left. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are gettable. So, and then it's going to leave you up to leave you up to what you do in tournament play or in SEC tournament play. It was a resume game. It doesn't completely eliminate you, but what it does do, I'll tell you what it does do. It sets you up for a rough February. You're going to have to win some ball games starting in February. This is now no bullshit time, right? Like you're going to have to win some games you're not expected to win. Oklahoma State would have helped. Would have got you to the 14, right? Would have gotten you to the 14th win of the year. I also think because of COVID, I've been hearing this a lot lately, that it sounds like the NCAA might they may loosen who they pick, right, in terms of what because 22 used to be the cap for winning ball games. That cap is expected to come down. And that's kind of why I'm making that prediction. Now, if it's same old, if this were any other year, and maybe I haven't talked enough about that, I think if this were any other year, yeah, I'd probably be a little bit panicked after tonight's loss. But because of COVID, because teams are forfeiting their years, because of the amount of teams that have just been hit hard with COVID and had to skip games, postpone or completely cancel games, I think the win total may come down and they may even expand the tournament. That's a possibility. Or they could also do the opposite. They could shrink it and make it to where only teams that got to like 25, 26 wins. They could do that. But I've heard a lot more in the other direction. It sounds like they may expand or they're going to loosen it up a little bit. You think about all the time, there's teams that we don't even realize that have postponed so many games and they're going to end up playing far less games on the year, and they're going to probably get left out. But you think they're going to leave out Power 5 schools, especially if they're knocking on the door? I'm of the belief at the moment that right now, if Arkansas takes care of business, wins the games they're supposed to win, take it into SEC tournament, don't be a one and done in the SEC tournament, which I don't think they would. I think Arkansas last year, who'd they beat? Vanderbilt, and they were supposed to play South Carolina. Who knows what they could have done a year ago. They were already on the bubble at that point a year ago. I think it's going to be similar to what happened last year with maybe a win advantage on top of the fact that because of COVID restrictions, I think Arkansas might find their way into the tournament. As far as resume building, yeah, I think it's an overreaction to say Arkansas's done. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're done. They just need to take care of business, and they're going to have to win at least a couple of games that they're not supposed to win. These next 3 games, they're all gettable, and you have to get them. I think if you lose one of the next 3, it doesn't eliminate you, but it makes February that much more difficult. I said it before, and I said this numerous times under Mike Anderson. He would have these rough Januaries, and then it would set him up for February where they'd have to actually beat some teams, and they would kind of find their way out of the dark hallway. In a sense, they would find their way home and get to the tournament because of their late February play, or because of what they do in the tournament, or whatever. And that put him in such rough situations. How many years did that knock him out of the tournament because of poor January play? It sets you up. If you set up for a rough win at all cost February, you're in trouble. And I think that's kind of where they're at right now. But I'm not knocking them out. I'm not saying they're eliminated. I'm not going to overreact just yet. You have to win these at least the next 2 of the 3, at the very least of the next 2 of the 3. But I'd probably argue you absolutely need to win the next 3. And they're all 3 gettable. Mississippi State, A&M, at Kentucky. At Rupp, I think that would it just depends, I guess. I don't know that Kentucky's going to do much I mean, they're just not a good basketball team. But you know what's weird is they have that talent, and because they have the talent, you never know. I think they're in kind of a similar boat in terms of there's good Kentucky that shows up, then there's bad Kentucky that shows up. Kentucky is absolutely capable of beating anybody. They are because of the talent, right? Because of what they have up and down their roster. But you know, again, I don't know that they're going to recover at any point this year, and that is a gettable game. Mizzou on the road. Arkansas played one of their ugliest games of the year at home against Mizzou and still almost won that game. I don't know if I would put Mizzou probably in the gettable category, but leaning towards favoring Mizzou, right? Florida is gettable. They've been up and down this year. They've been real streaky. You should win at A&M. Alabama at home, I'm going to say that's probably a loss. Well, that's absolutely a loss, although they lost to Oklahoma. But Oklahoma is looking pretty good. And then you have LSU. Do you recover? I don't think you get blown out again like what you did on the road against LSU. All of a sudden, you win that game. You go on the road, you beat South Carolina. You're in position to go into the SEC tournament and maybe make some waves. So all I'm saying is don't panic and hit the eject button. Should they have won that game? Would it have done a lot for the quad victory? Sure. Would that be nice to have on their resume? But it doesn't eliminate them from the tournament. We're nowhere near that point yet. If you lose a couple of these next three, then yeah, I'm off the boat. Absolutely. I think it sets up for those next three games to be pretty important. Let me scroll up here. We were strong if COVID didn't cancel our season. Pokes didn't hire Cunningham's big brother. That's why he's there. Oh, yeah. They did. I was going to say they did hire his brother. I'm panicking, but I'm trusting you, Ty. I'm worried. I'm probably overreacting. I get it. I mean, I get being concerned. Again, it would be nice for the resume to have that win. Just this game doesn't eliminate you is all I'm saying. I'm going to panic if you drop two of your next three, then I'm going to probably say, yeah, they're off the boat. And I said this 2 weeks ago, guys. I wiped the slate completely clean. I don't have any expectations of them to do either. To win or to win, to get there or to not get there, because I wiped the slate clean. I think the expectations of this team was just too much. Too many new faces. You know, you have all these great things. You've got the size, depth, blah, 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 talent and all that. But there's just there's just too much newness, I think you could argue. You lost 90% of your scoring production. At least about 90% of your scoring production with both Isaiah Joe. That bubbly drink I had a minute ago is coming back up. Isaiah Joe, Mason Jones, and Witt all gone. And you have how many new faces? We set the bar too high. They were a legit bubble team a year ago. Who knows how that year could have ended out? A lot of people had written them off, but I think that was premature. I think they were good enough to get past South Carolina and make maybe even a run at the SEC title game. And if you're at least in the SEC title game, I think they could have gone. Absolutely could have been a tournament team a year ago. I agree with what someone said in chat. They were a tournament team until COVID. I agree. They were playing better. Isaiah Joe was getting healthy. Mason Jones was healthy. They were coming back, playing together as a unit. Ethan Henderson was coming along. We forget about that. They were starting once Isaiah Joe was recovering and started to get close to where he was at before the injury. Arkansas was balling out. Looked pretty good. I mean, they still lost some games there towards the end, but they were games where they shot themselves in the foot, right? But they were still in it. They were still an outside looking in and then kind of on that edge, right, on the bubble of being a tournament team a year ago. And I think they're going to be in a similar situation. That's why I'm not panicking yet. Again, these next three games are huge. I think to stay in it, to stay in the conversation, you got to win the next two. To really put fans, kind of calm everybody down, you got to win the next three. And I think just to make the tournament, you probably are going to have to win the next three. We were a bubble team a year ago, and we are one this year. That's not a very big improvement, and we may dip last year. We may dip last year because Moses is definitely gone. So you meant to say we're going to dip next year. Judd, again, like I said, you lost 90% of your scoring production from a year ago, and you had to introduce 11 new players on your roster. That's not easy to do. I think all things considered, I think they're I mean, with what he had to work with year 2, I'm going to take it. I just am. Worse they are bad from what I've seen. I haven't really been paying attention to other teams, but how is Mike doing over at St. John's? Last I saw, they were not so great. Year 2 under Mike Anderson, St. John's. Didn't get to see Casey Martin anymore since now that he's in the MLB, if I'm correct. Yeah, no, he is. He is. So I don't panic. I wouldn't panic. Let's wait until these next 3 games. It sets you up. If you lose the next one, all right, that'd be a tough one to swallow, but I don't think they do because these are both at home, Mississippi State and A&M. The key game I think we're going to be looking back on is Kentucky. And then you're on the road against Mizzou. That'll be tough. But then you're at home against Florida, on the road against A&M, at home against a really good Bama team, and at home against a really good LSU team. Of course, they choked. So they choked today. I love seeing it. And then you're on the road against South Carolina and then into the SEC tournament. Again, I have a feeling that's where you're probably going to have to make your way into the tournament. The final 2 or 3 games and combined with the SEC tournament. So we have some great players besides Moses. They do. They have scorers. If you haven't noticed, they've had several different leading scorers every game. They have the capability of shooting from most places on the floor. They've gotten pretty comfortable with the corner pocket threes. Yeah, I don't know. There's more talent in the state right now than ever. We got to get them no matter what it takes. I agree, J.R. Shelton, 110%. All right. I know it's a bummer. It's a tough one. Everyone's, I'm angry. I'm not happy. I don't see improvement, blah, blah, blah. Got to give it time. Still got a little ways to go. What do you think will be, hold up, our seed for the SEC tournament? I don't know yet. I don't know. If Arkansas is not in the tourney, who do I jump ship for the tournament? U of A large. I just want to have an escape plan if something goes wrong. I don't blame you. I don't know. Anybody but the SEC. Then again, like, it's different in basketball because you need the SEC to win. You need the SEC to look good. It bumps you up a little bit, right? It bumps up the conference. But I hate seeing them win. If this team can finish strong, Coach Muss will get them there. I agree. Brett he just nailed it right there. There you go. Tate Seals, Note have to stay on the bench. Count the turnovers between. Yeah, I agree with that. They turn the ball over too much. Not to mention the bad shots. Starting 5 got to get fixed. Jay Hogg says bandwagon fans are the worst. I do the same thing though. If Arkansas's not in the tournament, I'll kind of look at a team and go, all right, I'll pick them. I want them to go far. I'd like to see them win. You know, I don't know that I actively root for them, but I definitely don't jump ship, right? I don't like to see them lose because we are probably going to lose the SEC Big 12 Challenge now. I like seeing Will Wade's cheating ass lose. I love seeing Will Wade, old money bags, money. What do they call him on Tiger Bait? Not Tiger Bait. Maybe it's Hogville. They call him Wiretap Will. I love seeing cheating teams. I want to see lose. I want to see Oklahoma State's known for cheating. I want to see them lose. But especially teams. Like, I really don't care about Oklahoma State. I don't really care what they do. But LSU, Bruce Pearl at Auburn, right? You wonder about Tennessee with who their head coach is and his history. I don't like cheaters winning. It drives me crazy, and then because they're getting away with it, I don't give a damn about the SEC. But you do need them to win because it's the way this thing works, right? Yeah, that was supposed to be a joke, but yeah, Tony was kidding around. I don't think Tony's not a bandwagon fan. Starting 5 should be figured out by now. Williams, Seals, Moody, Smith, Davis. Yeah, maybe it should, maybe it shouldn't. This isn't anything new. I mean, I can remember some of Mike's teams, some of his better teams outside of maybe Portis and Qualls. You're still kind of funneling around the rest of your roster. I mean, yeah, I agree that they should have it locked down a little bit better. But again, guys, they lost a close game against right now, especially with Cade Cunningham back, a tournament caliber team, right? Cade Cunningham, I don't think some of you understand, He is projected by NBC Sports as the number 1 draft pick. And they've got some players around him. Again, I think without him, they're probably, I don't know. I mean, maybe they're an outside looking in bubble tournament team. But with him, they are a tournament team that could go on a run. That's who you just went on the road and nearly beat. So I think some of you are like blowing that way out of proportion in terms of this loss. You almost beat a pretty salty Oklahoma State basketball team. My LSU hunting buddies want Will Wade's ass gone. Wow. Well, hey, pat him on the back for me. It's good to see that. Hey, look, if Musselman gets caught cheating, I'm gonna want him out. I'm gonna want him gone. I don't. Just not a fan of it. Not a fan. It's not. It's supposed to be a fair and equal ground, right? And we know it's not. Sharif Cooper might go number 1. Sharif Cooper might go number 1 in the NFL draft, according to the SEC Network. I've been a Hog fan since birth. I don't see why jumping ship now is a great idea. No, it's not. I agree. So if I was a bandwagon fan, I would have jumped off a long time ago, right? I mean, we've been through worse, have we not? I mean, maybe Musselman turns out to be the next Pelfrey. I don't know. Or the next Stan Heath. Who knows? I still like their path. I think Moses Mooney's a one and done. We'll see what they do next year if they don't make the tournament this year. I don't think it's the end of the world. You gave Mike Anderson how many years to get to the tournament? I think you got to give at least Musselman something close to that. So, anyways, all right, I'm going to call it. My wife just walked in the door. She went and picked up our girls. They stayed the night at their grandma and grandpa. So I'm going to go see them and probably go pick up dinner too, I would imagine. Because I don't think she brought home dinner. I'm not really sure. All right. Again, don't panic over the loss yet. That's all I'm saying. Did they need the win? Yeah, I think, they needed it. I mean, of course. Of course, you need every win, especially this one. This would have been a nice build-up. This would have been a nice win to add to the resume because you don't have very many of those. And I'm going to tell you this, root for Auburn the rest of the year. Root for them. As much as I hate to say it, root for them. So, and again, hopefully you get a surprise win. You're going to need a couple. So, yeah. I've been through Chad Morris. I don't think it can get any worse. I don't know, man. My first game as a kid, my very first game as a kid was Jack Crow when he lost to the Citadel. No lies. That was my very first in-person game. So, just saying. Thanks, Ty. I've been telling my buddies about you since we all Hog fans. That's awesome, Tony. I appreciate that. You guys don't forget to smash the like button. Tap the subscribe button if you haven't already. When's the next live show, Ty? Well, when do the Razorbacks play again? Let's see. It's the 2nd. My calendar doesn't show me. It just kind of depends. We've got a signing period. The final signing period's coming up the first week of February, right? What is signing period? I don't have the date pulled up here. I think it's almost always the first week of February. So I'll probably go live, even though there's not going to be any huge movement there. You never know. Arkansas does have some room to grow that football roster. I can't wait to start talking more football, as we get closer and closer to spring camp, and you're probably going to see a lot more of me during the spring camp. But right now, primarily what I'm focused on is doing these post-game shows. I had said I was working on the video about Little Rock, playing games down in Little Rock. Going to have to wipe that one clean. I'm changing my mind, and now I'm starting to work on some other stuff. I kind of want to go ahead and knock out the quarterback controversy throughout the off-season video. That's kind of been my focus now. I want to do that. I want to make an edited video about KJ versus Malik. It's going to be a fascinating video. I mean, stuff you've probably heard me say before here, but maybe not. So be sure and be on the lookout for that. Ty, it was a broken situation. Note was doubled, and he passed over to Vanover out of a trap. Well, it looked to me like Note, like that. It looked designed. It looked like Note was meant to get that ball out to Vanover, but I may have to go back and watch it again. It all happened like that, Are you back to the edited videos? I know you do them rarely now. Yeah, I want to do at least one. My goal is always one a week, but I don't. It's hard to do that with homeschooling and everything, with virtual learning. So hopefully I can get that video out. I want to get that out to you by this week. Again, I want to talk about the quarterback controversy and some other stuff. But anyways, all right. Woo pig. I'll see you guys on the next one. Go Hogs.